Okay, well, this is a special edition of the Multi-Point Inspection Podcast, and we're here with a friend of the podcast, Richard Lupo with Apple Tree Honda in the Asheville, North Carolina area, and we're here to talk about the devastation that's happened in that part of the country thanks to Hurricane Helene. She was a monster, man. So first of all, Richard, how are you guys doing?
Personally, my family is fine. We're safe, taken care of. We're fine. Personally, we're dealing with the issues that everybody's dealing with connectivity and utilities and things like that. But for the very most part, we are just fine and so much blessed to be spared some of the devastating effects that many in our community have been experiencing. So, from a personal standpoint, we're just fine. And thank you for everyone who's reached out. It means a lot. Our team here at Apple Tree are all accounted for. We're all here. We're all safe. So very just again by grace we are all here and accounted for. Most people again dealing with utilities, power, water, things like that. But we've got a couple of team members that have had some pretty significant losses. But as a whole, we're here and doing what we can to support our team members and the community around us right now. So that's an update from the ground from where we are right now for me personally and our team members.
Richard, was it flooding, and then were there mudslides? What with it being in the mountains? I know flooding was an issue, but is the mud I heard was an issue?
Yeah. So a couple things. Uh, Definitely the biggest devastating thing was water. The French Broad River runs through this region and through the city of Asheville. And, with the topography being what it is, there are low lying areas. I'm fortunate enough to live at a higher elevation, but yeah, it's an old city. It's been here for, it's been around for a long time. And so there are areas of the city that are, low lying and they all got flooded. The river came up to all-time historic levels that have been, in recorded history. It was told, I don't know how accurate it is, but it was told that in 1904 or somewhere thereabouts, it came up to about 20 feet over flood level. And the estimates right now are that this was 35 feet above. So, orders of magnitude of anything that we have in recorded history here in the area. So I know that my neighbor was measuring, had buckets out, things like that. And in my specific area, we had about 20 inches of rain during the storm, which is a ton on these hills. The topography of Asheville is that it's in the valley between around a bunch of mountains. It's almost like a soup bowl or whatever you would say. All the mountains are surrounded and everything drains right down into the river in the valley. And so that's what we're dealing with. The city of Asheville has a very antiquated water system, and it's pretty broken at this point. So we're a little bit further out from the city, and it's a little newer. So some of our utilities, our water, electric, and things like that are a little more stable than the older, more historic sections of the city. And so, in that, the water was overwhelmingly the biggest issue. And then as far as recovery goes, the trees, most of there's no way to bury the utility lines, the power lines up and over these solid rock mountains. So most everything is overhead. The utilities are all overhead, and trees just have decimated the power lines. And so the crew workers, the linesmen can't get to the lines until the tree guys get in there and clear the trees out. So there's a lot of coordination. It's gotten a lot better the first couple of days, the first day or two were, there was a lot of coordinating to the assessments of where to cut the trees first to get the linemen in, and they've got a pretty good handle on it now. So the short term is getting electricity back, repairing all the, getting rid of all the down trees and restoring electricity. And then there are some parts that are going to be without water for quite a while. So that's kind of the take on what's going on here in the immediate Asheville area and the immediate surrounding communities. So,
yeah, we were here in Jackson. We were the fire department we were doing water drives to send over that way. And I'm sure.
And the response has been, it's been just amazing. People from all over just bringing things. And I do want to say that, we are south of Asheville and southern routes, Route 40, which is an interstate coming in, goes through Charlotte and comes right into Asheville, is clear. Interstate 26 coming from the south comes in through Greenville, Columbia, Greenville, and right up in here. That's open. And so if anyone is bringing supplies and they need a place to drop them for distribution, we are really, really easy access, and we can get them distributed for you. So there's, if people want to help out with supplies and they don't know where or what to do, we are connected with some organizations and we can get them distributed. And you don't have to go up in to any other areas. You can come right off the interstate, stop, drop, and turn around and go back to where you were. So happy to help out like that too as well.
Yeah, I bet you didn't think you were going to have to deal with hurricanes moving this far inland from where you were,
Well, we moved here a few years ago from Florida, and never thought that a hurricane would follow us up the mountains up here. Depending on how you measure it, it's either a once in a 500 or a once in a 1,000-year event is what they're saying. And the infrastructure in Florida is so hardened to these events that the recovery and the efforts are coordinated and well rehearsed in advance. And you can't really put the blame any one specific place. If this is a once in a 500-year event, then it wasn't. The area wasn't prepared the way some places that's used to dealing with these types of things. And so, where I was in Jacksonville, I mean, if you have a tree near a power line, they just cut it down. They don't ask.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. And just wasn't, the area wasn't prepared, and there was no reason to be prepared for a once in a 500-year event. So, everybody could always do a better job, but I don't know that you could be prepared for a once in a 1,000-year event. So, that's also a consideration when we're looking at these things. And really, I mean, there are areas in this immediate area of Asheville that, there are pockets where low-lying areas where water just has washed out roads and carried away homes and things like that. But a lot of the images that you're seeing come from communities that are a little further out, towns that popped up right along the river, historically, milling, mining towns, things like that. And, those are communities are right on the banks of the river. And when that river came up, it devastated, especially in some of the outlying areas, some of the communities that are a little further out, and certainly not at all prepared, don't have the resources to deal with something of this magnitude. So we've had customers in the last couple of days and just heartbreaking, devastating stories by some of our customers personally, and it's going to take a while to reach those areas, and some of those places are just not going to come back. I don't know if they'll ever come back.
Yeah.
So that's that's an overview of what's going on here in the ground. We're across the street from the airport, and the coordination has gone way up. The trucks, the Lions trucks, and the tree guys and the helicopters from all the military people and the private people are really stepping up and delivering supplies. So there's a nonstop buzz of helicopters and jets flying in and out. I just read that Honda donated, I think, 500,000 to Red Cross, and Honda has a Honda Jet, which makes obviously makes jets. They're centered out of Charlotte, and so they're flying supplies in and out of Asheville, taking care of that part. So they're airlifting stuff in and out with the use of their jets that they have available to them. So kudos to them, and I'm sure that there's a lot of other companies, car companies included, that are doing things as well. Those are just something I read, and I get a lot of stuff from Honda on my feed, obviously. So
Right.
thank you to them. And anyway, that's what we got going on, man.
Well, let me. I heard a report this morning, and this is what kind of prompted this whole thing. And I have no ties with this organization at all, except that I have given to them. The pastor from Trinity Baptist Church in Asheville, he called in on a national radio show this morning, and that's from my understanding what he said. That's kind of the command center. National Guard is there. Everybody's there. Mercury One is a charity organization that gives 100%. If you donate $100, it all goes to whatever, and they pay their operating costs from another source. They were going to be there. They probably are there now. When I messaged you this morning, they were a couple hours before they landed, and the Trinity Baptist Church seems to be the mecca. That's where everything's kind of headquartered. Like I said, National Guard's there. So I kind of wanted to use this opportunity for anyone in our automotive family that would like to donate. And you can donate to the charity of your choice. I used Mercury One today, and of course, once you pull up the site, that's the immediate. It's easy. It pops up, help that area and East Tennessee. I'm a Tennessean, so that's where I went. And I'm going to put their graphic up for their link. But if you feel so inclined, I know they need boots, is what the pastor was saying. Because of the mud and just to, like, waterproof, like goods, boots, freezers, and refrigerators. And some of the stories I was hearing, man, were breaking your heart, about where it is the worst. They've got a long road to hoe before they do that. So I'm going to put up the thing for mercury1.org. But I just urge the audience to help out. Because again, a once in a 500-year event. I mean, this is wild, and this is where we kind of shine, where we should shine, and help our neighbors out.
Yeah, I much like you say, you're from East Tennessee, and these kind of things. We know there's East Tennessee and people from West Tennessee, and where these kind of things happen, and whether you're from Asheville or Burnsville or Fletcher or all of the surrounding communities, the people of Western North Carolina in this area have all of that. All that stuff goes away, and everybody's trying to really help each other. And I'm familiar with Mercury, and Glenn Beck does a fantastic job with that. And there's choices for your charities, and that's a great one. And I would encourage people to if they're going to donate, make sure that the charity that they're donating to is legit, because there's a lot of opportunistic scammers out there that just make sure if you're able and wanting to be a part of the relief effort in some fashion by doing a donation, make sure it's going to a reputable charitable organization that takes 80% of it's not going to a CEO someplace.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I'm familiar with Mercury, and I know that it's a very reputable organization. So happy to be a part of putting that logo up on this and promoting it. So yeah, fantastic, and thank you, Brandon. Thank you for reaching out and giving us a chance to share some of the stories that we've got here. So
yeah. Well, Richard, you guys stay safe, and we're going to end this thing here so we can get this on LinkedIn in its entirety.
Yeah.
But
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, everyone. And just a real quick thing, the car business, the industry is far-reaching, and it's full of fantastic, great people, big hearts, and just a great community. And just blessed to be a part of that community. The number of people that have reached out to me on a personal level, it's amazing. And we're gathering up a group of local businesses tomorrow. We'll be attending a meeting tomorrow that we've got about 40 businesses lined up, and see what we can do to get involved at a different level. We I know we got to keep this short and get it on. The work, the triage that's going on right now with the Red Cross and FEMA and the helicopters, that stuff's going to go away pretty quick. And the national attention that we have right now is going to get, the cameras are going to go away, and we've got elections, we got all that stuff going on. And, a couple months from now, all of that stuff will be gone, and we're going to have tens of thousands of people that are displaced. And that's when we really have to, as members of our community, really dig in. And that's where the real hard work is going to start, rebuilding these communities. The important work that the Red Cross and FEMA and all the charities, the churches and the organizations in the area that are providing those immediate, emergency needs are doing a fantastic job. And we're going to be here to dig in with our community and start rebuilding. So thank you, Brandon. Thank you, everyone that's in our industry, and everyone broader that's sending prayers up and making donations. Every bit of it helps. So thank you so much for giving the opportunity to give some updates.
Thank you, Richard. We'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you, Brandon.